Hello viewers, this is Rich Vernadeau, and today I'm presenting you with how much do your posts reveal about you. I know many people post on social media, sometimes almost daily, Facebook, what have you. And Facebook does have various settings of privacy, whether you keep it with your friends or whether it's publicly available to be viewed by anyone who comes along. That having been said, many people also leave comments all over the internet. There's various ways you can do this. One of them is called Quora, Quora. And a lot of the comments that are left will be after articles, after news articles. Sometimes people still go into blogs and leave a comment. Sometimes, obviously, people leave comments after YouTube videos. And I hope you leave a comment after this one here. Also, give me a thumbs up, a like as well, and share it with your friends. That having been said, have you ever thought about how much your posts online reveal about you? Well, let me just go over a list here that I've come up with. And again, this is sort of superficial, sort of skimming the top. I can do a future one that will be much more thorough, and I'm sure other people can weigh in with ideas. And by all means, in the comments below, leave your ideas you want to contribute. Anyway, stop and think about it. Depending on the type of posts that you leave, your approximate age and gender in most cases can be deduced by your posts. Your socioeconomic status sometimes can be deduced based on products that you say that you use, places you say that you travel. Sometimes people talk about the type of work or job that they have. Your level of education sometimes can also be ascertained from your posts. The country of origin and or residence. For example, when someone from Great Britain posts, they'll use certain words or slang terms or phrases that are very popular in Great Britain, but that Americans don't use normally in daily speech. So you can easily identify a Brit, a person from Great Britain that way. What else can you establish with reasonable accuracy? And again, remember, there's a margin of error with all of this. All right. There's a lot you can infer from a person's writing unless they are purposefully trying to lead you astray. And many people do have an online persona that will not match exactly who they are. Even so, they will leave clues. I want to mention that. You can't know with absolute certainty, but you can make some generalizations that are accurate. Written word alone can serve as a reliable means. From it, you usually can infer or deduce age and gender, socioeconomic status, level of education, and country of origin. Some of the other things that you can probably determine, as I mentioned earlier, is that the use of slang terms or figures of speech will give away what part of the country one is from, or if one is English or in Great Britain. Sometimes people leave anecdotal, autobiographical tidbits that will add further detail. For example, someone may reference Minneapolis as a geographical location where they have visited or lived. They may mention this in one of their posts somewhere. Certain use of terms or catchphrases will give away a military background or a law enforcement background. That just has to do with the use of key terminology or jargon that is peculiar to certain fields. I would say somebody working in construction or an electrician might do the same thing depending upon the subject matter they're discussing. They might use certain phrases that are unique to that field in which they work. Discussion of certain subjects, especially involving advanced math, indicate college degree and or graduate and postgraduate education, particularly in the mathematics field. All of this is a type of profiling, as should be fairly obvious. Now, there's much more to this, of course, but this is the tip of the iceberg I'm presenting to you here in this video. And it is true, as I mentioned earlier, that someone can deliberately misrepresent him or herself on the internet in various forms where they post. Knowledge of certain particular subject matter may or may not always indicate that they work in that field, but it will often. Again, all of these things I've mentioned are just tools, they're areas of speculation. That's why I want to use careful qualifying terms such as in most cases, sometimes, or with reasonable accuracy. We're not attempting to argue anything here other than that with a varying level of accuracy, which will vary from poster to poster being analyzed. Incidentally, it is fairly safe that there are some people who spell or misspell words in different ways. Realize with an S, of course, would be an English indicator, as opposed to Z for realize here in American English. It most likely would indicate they were not educated in the United States, and they're probably not American in origin. So if you see the use of an S instead of a Z in words like realize, that indicates the education probably took place somewhere other than the United States. You can build up a statistical model and give some probability that a person can be categorized one way or another. There's one small script I remember somewhere that tried to guess your gender based on something you wrote. It relied on some common psychological trends, but of course it wasn't 100% accurate. I think it is possible to detect regional differences in grammar and vocabulary choice. All of this is very fascinating and things that you can employ when you're reading people's posts online, and stuff you can employ to determine how much you've put out there. How much about yourself have you revealed, depending on how much you want to reveal. Some people are an open book and put it all out there, and again, that's nothing wrong with that as long as that's what you're trying to do. So basically, the internet is turning distinctive local cultures and subcultures into a bit of a stew, obviously, since we're all interacting with one another all over the planet instantaneously. And as we're exposed to regional English spellings, colloquialisms, and so on, we're more likely to employ them. So people are going to pick up things, of course. Many people zigzag between British and American spellings of certain words. Many people can hack out a passable imitation of a New York, New Jersey accent and even spell it out in text. So again, there are certain words that are sort of peculiar to, maybe phrases peculiar to the Bronx or peculiar to Philly, to Philadelphia, and they're dead giveaways if somebody is from there or living there. Anecdotes are dubious but possible autobiographical clues. And again, some people use real and personal anecdotes, whereas some people use hypothetical ones. So again, this is just a cursory overview. This is a form of behavioral forensics, of course. But anyway, digest this. If it helps you in some way to figure out what you want to put out there on the internet, good. If it helps you to analyze what other people have put out there, good. So I hope this has been very helpful in terms of how much your posts online reveal about you to others. Thank you very much. This has been Rich Vernadeau.